Welcome, systems check. System all clear. Initiating startup protocol. Welcome trivia and crypto degenerates. Access granted. Enjoy the descent into this immersive game of knowledge.
All right, there we go. We're live. Welcome everybody, as always. I love that intro. But I got a little surprise, possibly for Wednesday. I'm going to work on it after we're done tonight. So I got an idea for a potentially new intro that we can use as well. So we'll let everybody kind of vote on what they think. So
I haven't. This is the first I'm hearing of it, so that'll be interesting.
It's gonna slap.
Well, we were at 7. I was going to say let's get race started because we had 17 people, and all of a sudden it shot back down to 11. So I don't know.
Yep. Now mine's back up, but I don't know.
So Jackpot says, got a question for Dan and Kyle. Just got offered a job as a local trivia host. Any advice for hosting trivia? Kyle's trying to get rid of me on the down low. So honestly, the biggest thing I would say is it makes it much easier if you have someone to reverb back off of. So like Kyle and I, if you go solo, it's definitely harder because you crack jokes that no one else can, like everyone else can hear. I mean, if it's live, that's actually easier. Mm-hmm. Coming from someone who's been to 1,000,001 live trivia once, don't be boring. Make jokes, even if they're like dad jokes, because people like me appreciate that. I love that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Have fun with it. People appreciate like engaging with the audience. And yeah, Dan's definitely right. If you can have like a co-host, it definitely helps. Because I remember when Dan was on vacation down at Disney, I had to host it twice by myself, and like it went well. It just wasn't the same. Like it's really hard to host it by yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you just can't like feed off from one another and stuff like that. But either way, just be yourself with it and have fun.
Yeah, and Stephanie says keep people engaged between questions. Yeah. That's a definite big one. So,
like Dan and I just have fun doing it. Like we enjoy doing it. We haven't made a dime off from Trivia Vice, and we probably won't. But like we're fine with that because we put a lot of our own money and time into it. But it's kind of a labor of love.
Yeah,
we do it for all you guys.
Exactly. So, without further ado, let's get started. What we got tonight? Kyle did a couple rounds. We got March Madness. We got history. We got movies. We have a kind of a grab bag section I did. And full disclosure for those who are actually listening right now, the final question is a write-in one. It is not a type 1, 2, 3, or 4. So let's do this.
Okay, let's see here. Let's get that started. So we're starting right off with some March Madness.
Yeah, I'm curious. I haven't seen these questions, so I'm going to see how I do.
Final Four coming up. We got to do some more. I'm a huge college basketball fan. Always have been. I mean, especially this time of the year, you gotta throw in some March Madness stuff.
Yep.
There we go. We gotta go full screen with it. There we go.
Yeah, I don't know how you found out that. I feel
somebody told me, and I'm trying to remember who, but somebody, because that you and I were like complaining about it. We're like, I wish we could like get it to go full screen, and then literally somebody like messaged us. They're like, hey, by the way, like you can just press F11 and go full screen. All right, number one, which program has the most NCAA titles? UCLA, North Carolina, Kentucky, or Duke?
So I do know this one. I'm not going to say anything until a little bit in, but
it's very, very close between two of them. Actually, all four of them, obviously.
They all have it, but
it may not be as easy as people think.
John Wooden still with UCLA. They have 11 titles. Is that the most?
Correct.
So
who's second?
Second, I believe. Second is North Carolina with 9.
Nope.
No.
Kentucky has 10.
10. Kentucky? Mm-hmm. Okay. I always forget Kentucky was actually really good before Calipari. Because like before Calipari came in, when Kyle and I were in like middle school and early high school, Kentucky was terrible.
I still stand by the best Kentucky team they ever had. I know Calipari's had some good teams. Their 96 team that beat Syracuse in the finals, 9 NBA players on that roster.
That's crazy.
Insane. All right. Number 2, who was the first person to use the phrase March Madness? Marv Albert, Dick Vitale, Brad Musburger, or Brad Nessler?
I don't know this one. However, who's your favorite out of there? Kyle's gonna know.
What's that?
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
For college, it's got to be Dickie V. He's just pretty iconic. I do like Marv Albert, though. They all have very unique personalities, but also very unique voices.
I really enjoy Marv Albert because he does a lot of NBA games too, or he had before. He doesn't really do them as much now, but really like Marv Albert.
Who do you
probably
think
my favorite? What's that?
Who do you think the answer to this is?
I was gonna say Brad Nessler.
So I got almost everybody. I knew everybody was going to go Dickie V on that. It actually was Brent Musburger back in the early 80s. It was either 82 or 83. He was the first one to coin the phrase March Madness.
Dude should have got a trademark on it.
Mm-hmm. All right, number 3. Arkansas style of play in the 90s under Coach Nolan Richardson was known as 40 minutes of what? Panic, hell, havoc, or excitement? So not a lot of people really think of Arkansas as being a basketball powerhouse. Back in the 90s, especially the early 90s, they were legit. They went to 3 Final Fours in like a 5-year time span. They went to back-to-back championship games, and they won the title in 94. I actually just watched a documentary on this the other night. ESPN had a documentary on the 40-minute. It was called 40 Minutes of Hell, which is what Arkansas style of play was. Nolan Richardson went 15 deep with his team. Every single person would play, and they just press the shit out of you the entire game.
I love that. I think that's really
because he came in and he was taking over for a coach that it was literally just like walk it up the court, get into the half court and set it up. And he was just like, no, we're gonna trash that and change that all up. So Arkansas was nasty. Number 4, Duke ended UNLV's attempt of back-to-back championships in the 91 season. How many games did UNLV win in a row up until that point? 50, 45, 35, or 100?
So what I always wonder when you get teams like that have like a good half decade or a decade of success and then kind of fall back into obscurity, especially in college basketball, because I feel like college football, one of the reasons, in my opinion, why college basketball is more interesting, other than I like basketball much more, is to me, college football has got like 10 very good teams. And after that, it's kind of like, eh. Whereas like basketball, because of the sport itself, there's less, defined positions, especially nowadays where there's just so many good players. But I always wonder how a team like Arkansas could be good for 5-6 years and then kind of just fall back into obscurity.
To be honest with you though, I feel like that happens with a lot of schools. Like, I'll tell you here in a second. So last one, what's the lowest seed to ever win it all? 9, 8, 7, or 10? Bonus points if you know what team it was and what year. I'll give you a hint. They knocked off Georgetown.
I'm going to go with the year being 1985. It was Patrick Ewing's team for Georgetown that got beat.
Correct.
It was, what team was it?
It was Villanova, led by Ed Pickney.
Son of a bitch.
They were an 8 seed.
I couldn't remember what seed either.
No, what I was going to say, though, is like growing up, I always hated Duke.
Yep.
As I've gotten older, I've definitely grown to – it's kind of like Tom Brady. Like, I've grown to respect the greatness. Like, especially like Coach K. Like, the fact that for 40-something years he is consistently – like, he's made the Final Four in 4 different decades. Like, that's insane. And – like, if you think about it, like, obviously I'm a huge Syracuse fan because we're not that far from Syracuse. But if you really think about it, Syracuse goes in cycles, kind of like what we were talking about with Arkansas. Syracuse has, like, a stretch of 3 or 4 really good seasons, and then they have 3 or 4 shit seasons before they're good again, You're
right.
Like, because, like, in all honesty, like, yeah, they made the Final Four in 2013 and 2016, but, let's be honest, they really had no business being there other than the fact that it's March Madness. Like they didn't have the team that they had in previous years. Like when we were in college, they should have been a Final Four team because they were probably the best team in the country. And then, that's what happens sometimes.
Yep. Jerry says he wants a bonus point. Did you say you're going to give a bonus point for whoever? He did get Villanova.
Oh, did he get it? All right, yeah.
Yeah, well, Jerry's got 2. Point. Jerry, Kyle's feeling friendly here. Jerry's got 2 going in to round number 2.
Maybe we'll give out some bonus points for some history because I think we got some good history questions here. So I broke it up between, I think, round 1 of history because I did 2 rounds of history. I think round 1 it's all American history. I think it was 17 and 1800s for the first round, and then the 1900s and 2000s for the second round.
All right, I'm answering these ones on my phone. I want to see how I do.
All right,
because I do not know the answers for these. So, all right, question number 1, round 2. What city was the first capital of the United States? Philadelphia, New York, Boston, or Atlanta? So, interestingly enough, I don't know honestly why. I don't know this for 100% for a fact. But why not settle more? I get like the Northeast was like really heavily settled, much more. In the early days. Why not? Like, I know they didn't understand like geographics and stuff nearly as much then, but like as time went on, why is the South not more full? Just because of the weather, like, you know what I mean?
Right. Even if you think of like, oh, by the way, I knew I'd get a lot of people with Philly on that because so much stuff took place in Philly. It actually was New York.
Oh crap! You got me on that one.
Well, so you and I both watched that one documentary on biographics on YouTube about Cornelius Vanderbilt. Like even on that, they talk about like how New York was like the hub, even way back then.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Question number 2. What month was the Declaration of Independence signed? September, June, July, or August? So anyway, going back to what we were talking about, I'm not saying I would move to somewhere like Florida if it wasn't for my family. However, I think I would move to somewhere like Florida if it wasn't for my family. If all of us weren't up here, I think I would totally in a heartbeat move somewhere like Florida.
So I got every single, sorry, not to cut you off. I got every single person on this. So the Declaration was drafted in July. However, it was not signed until August.
Wow, you got that's a good one.
It was drafted in July. However, it was not signed until August.
Man, you got me too. That's a good one. And it says September was the right answer.
Or I'm sorry, yeah, September. Okay, well, it should have been August. Sorry. Either way, yeah, got everybody.
All right, question number 3. Who was the first president to live in the White House? Jefferson, Adams, Johnson, or Lincoln?
I told you this history stuff. We might have to give some bonus points at some point on one of these questions. Because
you might have to.
Yeah, told you I wasn't messing around with these.
No, you weren't. I've been
making them too easy lately.
You know what? Usually I'm the one known for the brutal questions. I appreciate. I like these ones. I like learning.
Yeah, it is kind of well, and honestly, I mean, the other part of it, I guess, too, is I get they've established, everything more like East Coast and everything, at least for a lot of the stuff. But like as time's gone on and everything, it does kind of surprise me too that they haven't tried moving some of the stuff more, even like Midwest or something like that, just kind of more centrally located.
Yep, I am tanking this so far. All right, question number 3. Who was the shortest serving United States president? William Henry Harrison, Richard Nixon, John F. Kennedy, or Andrew Johnson? So Jackpot said that in Georgia in the summer, it's just a bunch of bugs and it's very hot and humid. That's going to be that'd be the big downside, probably would be humidity. But I feel like if you had a air conditioned place, I'd be okay. I say that now, but
yeah. I don't know. I definitely prefer a drier heat.
Steph says she's guessing William Henry Harrison since she didn't know he was even a president. How do you think that's gotta
31 days?
Man, poor guy.
He lasted all of 31 days.
Rip.
Brooklyn says, come up here and see if you can handle weekly blizzards. Well, we're kind of in one. Well, it's not really a blizzard, but it is like super cold and windy right now.
Yeah.
Went from 70 to 10.
Yeah. All right. Question number 5. What's the name of the theater where President Lincoln was assassinated? Sam's, Glenn's, Forum's, or Ford's Theater? Hey, I finally got one right. Hooray. Man, I stunk it up that. You got me on that. I'm coming back for a vengeance. I blame it on the fact that I had to read the questions and answer. That's my excuse. Because normally I'm very good with history.
I'm curious. I think our top people on this are going to have 2, maybe 3. We might have a couple people that got 3, but the majority are going to have either 2 or 1.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good round right there, sir.
Yep.
The question is who gets the points? Maybe. There we go.
Oh, right, okay. So
Dirk on the board with 4 points that round. Not bad at all.
Okay.
Kay's got one with 3 points, and Jerry now has 3 points since Kyle's just giving out freebies. So Jerry's pulling away, going in to round number 3. Another history. So is this U.S.
This
history?
Should be U.S. history. It should be the 1900s and 2000s.
Interesting.
I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Now my room down here is getting hot because I turned on the heater like an hour ahead of time because it's so cold outside and so windy.
That's what you get.
But I don't dare turn it off because it's like, okay, the moment I do, it's going to start getting cold again.
Yeah.
All right, number 1. What was Bill Clinton's dog's name while in office? Scoop, Knox, Colt, or Buddy? He had a cat named Socks. What was the dog's name?
I have no idea.
A bonus point for anybody that can tell me what type of dog it was. First person that can tell me what type of dog it was before.
Oh, he's giving a bonus for it. All right,
you got 10 seconds.
I honestly don't even know what was the name of the dog. I don't even know.
Name was Buddy.
What a dumb name for a dog. I went with Scoop because I like that name.
I thought I guess some people would Knox, like Socks and Knox.
So you got Beagle, Lab, Chocolate
Brooklyn
Lab,
got it. Chocolate Lab.
Brooklyn with the
points. Came in just before Mama S.
Okay. Boy, I'm getting my arse kicked right now. I'm kind of ashamed of myself.
All right, number 2. What state's electoral votes ultimately decided the 2000 presidential election? Texas, New York, Florida, or Arizona? Arizona.
That sounds like a planet in Star Wars.
All right, wow, we got everybody. Okay, I figured it was going to be something where a majority of people would get this and it would be a timed one, but I figured like some of the younger generation I figured might not remember that because they weren't really old enough.
I don't think Curtis was even born yet.
See, that's what I'm saying. Or even if they were, like, they just really weren't old enough to really, like, think about it or care about it, really, No,
I get the ones right that everyone gets, apparently. So, boy.
Hey, you were first on that one, though.
Yes.
There's a silver lining.
There's also like a 2 or 3 second lag, so I technically do have a slight advantage.
Number 3. What year did the iPod debut? 2006, 2004, 2001, or 2000? See, the iPod, it was such a big breakthrough that it is considered a massive part of American history. And, it is kind of crazy to think about. So I was watching a YouTube video the other day where they were talking about like like flashback on certain things to like the 90s and 2000s, and it is amazing like how different things are now.
Yeah, you get used to it because
it's just amazing to think back to like what we had, growing up, like all the different like CD players and stuff like that compared to what it is now.
Yeah, that's true. 2001. I feel like no one bought it when it first came out. At least I didn't know anyone that had an iPod. I feel like that was definitely like.
Yeah, I didn't know anybody that had them until like probably 2 or 3 years later.
Yeah.
All right, number 4. What type of exercise area did President Obama have installed at the White House? Tennis court, soccer field, racquetball court, or basketball court? Derek says, how about albums and 8-track? All right, so yes, most people got this. So Obama is a very well-known basketball aficionado. He loves basketball, so he had a court installed personally for him. Yeah, Curtis says he's a hooper. He actually is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I could take him. Take the president one-on-one.
I'm out of water, and we're only on round.
The good news is if you beat the U.S. president one-on-one, you can just shake hands and be done. If you beat Putin one-on-one in basketball, you're never seeing your family again. You're going to the gulag.
Number 5, which branch of military did JFK serve? Navy, Marines, Army, or Air Force?
So JFK was partially because of his father was really put to a mythical status because of his involvement in one very minor battle in World War II. His father basically blew it up to be this huge event, this like world-changing, war-changing event, and it really wasn't. He did do a good job, from what I understand. Read a little bit about it, and he like led his crew to safety and everything. But I feel like from what I understand, it was blown up to be a much bigger deal than actually what had happened. I believe the ship got attacked and got torpedoed by the Japanese, and the ship was going down, and he had to like kind of take control. But okay, so Dirk got 2 points on that one, or is that 2 points? I should say. Kay's got 2 now, and then Mama S is on the board.
Dirk leading the way in the history. I think he got 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10, not bad.
Tough too.
Not bad at all. Gary said he got a life injury from it. So JFK was like, the dude was like not in good health when he was in. I mean, the guy was on so many different meds and painkillers.
I was gonna say, wasn't he? Yeah, he was on a ton of different.
He had a lot of problems with his bowel. I think he had part of his bowel removed when he was younger, and he had a lot of issues with illnesses his whole life. It was just all hidden behind like, it was kept kind of hidden. So, but he did have a bad back problem from his time in the war. Yeah, Jerry says his back. All right, question number 1, round 4. Which of these movies did Jeff Bridges not star in? True Grit, Tron Legacy, The Hateful Eight, or The Giver?
I'll wait because I believe I know this. So yeah, I don't. Dan made the last 2 rounds here, so I haven't seen any of these ones. I believe it was The Hateful Eight.
I do believe. Yeah, I never seen The Giver, but I remember reading it in school in like 7th grade. I don't know why we read it. It was a very weird book, but we did read it. Some like dystopian society.
I don't think we ever read it. I don't remember reading it, at least.
And there was a baby named Gabe. I remember that. I don't know why I remember that.
So I knew he. Okay, I did get it right. I was pretty sure he was in The Giver. I knew he was in True Grit, and then.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Gary says he was in the first Tron, but I don't think Legacy. That's I couldn't remember if he was in both or not.
All right, question number 2. Johnny Depp made his big screen acting debut in what film? My Bloody Valentine, Halloween, Friday the 13th, or A Nightmare on Elm Street? So, famously, Johnny Depp had auditioned, and he was in a band at the time. He had auditioned, and good Lord, Wes Craven was going through photos of all the people, and he was like one of 3 or 4, and he didn't want him because he thought he was like too he didn't think he was good looking, or he thought he was too good looking, I should say. And
I was gonna say, didn't he think he was too good looking?
His daughter convinced him that he needed to be in it because he was just a heartthrob. But he was in the famous scene of getting sucked into the mattress and a whole crap load of blood spurting out. Very iconic scene. All right, question number 3. After the United States, what country has produced the most movies and made the most global box office dollars? The UK, India, France, or China? Do you know this one, Kyle?
I'm thinking it's got to be the UK, and I have a reason for it.
Okay. A lot of people were in China.
Well, Pinewood Studios in London is huge. That's where all the Harry Potter movies were filmed. I mean, just on that alone, that's, I mean, multiple billions of dollars, plus all the, Fantastic Beast movies that they have coming out now. Some of the Star Wars movies, at least the original, a lot of it was filmed in Pinewood Studios.
Before the 2000s, a lot of films were still made in the UK. They still are, but not as much as they were. But yeah, UK has grossed about $57 billion, and so it's about a tenth of what the US has. China's closing in at about 40 billion. India,
they were going to be my second choice, but I kind of figured, just based on the amount that some of their movies are doing, it's crazy.
All right, what famous actor is said to be cut from the film E.T.? Michael J. Fox, Harrison Ford, the Schwarzenegger, or Andy Kaufman? Do you know this? This is an interesting one.
I'm gonna guess Michael J. Fox.
So it's actually Harrison Ford. There was rumors that he was in the film and was cut because George Lucas and Spielberg obviously were like besties. When E.T. came out, they had the Star Wars films, they had Indiana Jones, was kind of all that was going on at the same time, and I think there was the feeling of they didn't want to be like that, those people that utilized Harrison Ford too much all the time.
Kind of like Scorsese, and
which is just DiCaprio. Silly though, because you can never have too much Harrison Ford. I adore Harrison Ford. All right, question number 5. Which of these actors or actresses is not part of the cast of the 2016 movie Suicide Squad? Will Smith, Scarlett Johansson, Margot Robbie, or Jared Leto? This was honestly, this is one movie that I agree with critics on. This was a disappointing movie when I saw it. I still really don't enjoy the movie that much. It's a lot of decisions I don't like. A lot of everything. The whole plot is just forgettable. So that's just the best way I could. And I'll be honest, I think the newest Suicide Squad movie with James Gunn is very forgettable. I didn't enjoy it that much.
I haven't seen the new one, and I really like James Gunn.
Guardians is way better. I think the better materials for him is that. This one, like, he was given, like, oh, you can say the F word and you can do way more blood and stuff because it's going to be a rated R movie. It just, it's okay.
I'm gonna go with unpopular opinion. I like Guardians 2 better than the first one.
I do too, 100%.
I mean, I love the first one, but the second one was...
No, it's because Kurt Russell's in it. Kurt Russell makes everything better. It's a scientific fact. Guy is the greatest actor of all time. All right, Joey is on the board with a point. Stephanie Sample had a point already. Okay, so Stephanie Stevens gets on the board. And Kay got 3 points now, so she's tied with Jerry with 3 apiece going into round 5. Dirk's got 2, and then we got Stephanie, Joey, Mama S, Brooklyn, and Curtis. Or no, excuse me, Carrie. I can't read my handwriting. Carrie have a point.
So what's the final round? It's a grab bag?
So this one's a grab bag. This has a little Irva thing in it.
Okay.
He says, slow down, Big Daddy Dan. Kurt Russell. I love Kurt Russell. I love him. My favorite horror movie of all time is The Thing, and he is phenomenal in it. Big Trouble in Little China.
I don't know if he's the best actor of all time, but I do love
Miracle, a crappy hockey movie that he made great.
The 96 film Fargo was primarily set in which U.S. state? Wisconsin, South Dakota, North Dakota, or Minnesota? All right, first off, Miracle is a great movie. I mean, Kurt Russell obviously is amazing, but okay, it's still a great movie though. It's about a great event in history.
Yeah, exactly. But Kurt Russell in it makes it a great movie instead of just a good movie.
I will say one of the best pump up speeches. That speech that he
delivered it.
Play the Russians. Oh man!
All right, I'm going to go on a limb and say here that hear me out.
That'll get you going anytime.
If Kurt Russell was in Invictus, which is a great monumentous moment apparently in South Africa for rugby, I would have watched it. Yeah. Morgan Freeman and Matt Damon were in it. I'm like, meh. Yeah. But Kurt Russell was in it.
He's a box office draw. That's for sure.
Plus, like the dude I don't know. I just love Kurt Russell.
He's just a boss.
I can't explain why I do.
Number 2, how many dots are on a single die? 24, 21, 18, or 15? So this is a question we've definitely had.
I was just going to say, here's our repeating question that I added in, and who here remembers it?
Jerry says he loves Invictus. It's much better.
He thinks it's more better. He thinks it's better than Miracle. Well, that's because Clint Eastwood.
Wait. Invictus is better than Miracle?
Because, Invictus was directed by Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood is a great director.
I actually haven't seen Invictus, so I can't say that.
I haven't either. I'm just saying.
I can't say if it was better or worse. I don't know.
But, okay, let me use another example. Let me think of another sports movie. If Cool Runnings had Kurt Russell in it, along with John Candy, can you imagine how great that movie would have been?
Dude, it's already great. I love Cool Runnings. That's such a good movie.
So that one was split right down the middle.
You know what's another really good movie that I actually go ahead with this for? How
many points is the G tile worth in Scrabble? So we've done Scrabble questions. I've never done the letter G. I didn't know this one.
That is interesting. So another movie that I want to watch, because I'm kind of in a basketball mood right now. You know, March Madness, NBA playoffs are right around the corner. I'm kind of in a basketball mood. Mm-hmm. I haven't watched Coach Carter in probably like 10 years. So I definitely
Coach Carter's a good movie. Okay. You remember the forgotten movie, but a very important part of history in the 50s or 60s with basketball, Glory Road. Similar idea.
That's a
Disney
good movie.
But hear me out, Disney movie, but the head coach was played by Kurt Russell. That'd be a better movie.
Mm-hmm. So fun fact about Glory Road. Nolan Richardson, the guy that coached Arkansas, 2 years prior to when they won the national championship against Kentucky for Texas Western, he actually was on the team. He was their leading scorer.
Oh, hang on. So Joey, Brooklyn, and Curtis get a point for that one. Joey, Brooklyn. Can you read that, Kyle?
The question, yeah. The Big Bang Theory was first theorized by a priest of what religious ideology? Jewish, Islamic, Christian, or Catholic?
Okay, there we go. So sorry, I make that mistake more often than I probably should about that.
So Jerry says, what about Hoosiers?
Hoosiers is a fun film. I like that one.
Yeah,
Hoosiers is good. Gene Hackman, top 5 my favorite actors. I love Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
And I respect the fact that the guy got older and just said, yeah, I'm done because I don't want to keep that's my one problem with Robert De Niro is like most films he's in now is like he just doesn't have it like he used to. But he still keeps pumping out crappy movies.
A lot of them, you can almost tell it's a cash grab.
Yeah.
At this point, you know.
Same with Al Pacino, though. Al Pacino's been in some really bad stinker the last 10 years. And I'm like, man, like, why?
Yeah.
But, yeah, Gene Hackman, one of my favorite movies. Well, I don't know if it's my favorite anymore, but hang on. AU on the periodic table refers to which element? Silver, oxygen, nickel, or gold? But a great pair up, Will Smith and Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
And what the hell is the movie? I'm drawing a blank now. Good Lord.
Yeah, Jesus, I can't think of it. Jerry says, best of all, Field of Dreams. Field of Dreams is a great movie.
Yeah. If it had Kurt Russell, I'd like it more.
like Kevin Costner.
I do too.
Back in his prime. That was when he was in his prime.
I like
you know what? Kevin Costner still is. You know what? If Kevin Costner or Dennis Quaid is in the movie, I would watch it.
I like Dennis Quaid too, except
I
for
like
Jaws
Dennis Quaid.
3. That's his debut movie is Jaws 3, and he's fucking terrible.
But
that's because Jaws 3 is a fucking terrible movie. So
all right, so a dark horse contender for a great sports movie, The Express, the Ernie Davis story.
I saw that.
Dennis Quaid plays the coach at Syracuse.
Yep, Steph and I saw that in theaters when it came out in like 2007, and that forever will make me associate nosebleeds with leukemia. So
yeah.
And I get nosebleeds all the time in the winter. So thanks, The Express. I appreciate that. I don't know why I remember that for the movie, but that's the one part I remember, and I don't like that.
Mama S says Yellowstone. Jerry says Dances with Wolves. Yeah, see, Kevin Costner, I feel like he just keeps on getting better and better.
Kyle,
then, like Dan said, there's certain actors that they just need to hang it up. Like, okay, Stallone, the only role he should ever continue playing is Rocky for the Creed movies. Like he's great in those, but after that, what's that?
Just be done. You need to know when you're done.
See, he's still great in the Creed movies. Like he's really good in those.
He's a good mentor,
but other than that, like, just hang it up. You got nothing left to prove.
Okay, sorry. Hang on. I blanked out. I was listening to what you were saying. But okay, so because we had a couple people get, so Joey got an extra point. Let me see if that affects anything. No, does not. Brooklyn. We're like calling these people out. Brooklyn, no, they have 2. That would give her 2, and then Curtis. Where is Curtis here? With 2. I'll give Curtis a point because that would possibly bump him to 3rd, possibly based on time. So I'll give him the point on that one, begrudgingly. No, I was listening to I was listening to you talking and reading the comments about actors and stuff and actresses, and I was really in deep thought when I really shouldn't have been.
Okay, you know what? Here's another one that did it right, I think. Bruce Willis. You don't ever hear from him anymore.
Dude, that's because he does dollar movies. He's like Nick Cage now. He does them all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's bad. Oh. It's really bad. It's
so
sad.
He's going like the Adam Sandler route.
Yeah.
Like, that's another, like, Adam Sandler's another one. It's like, okay, you had a great run in the 90s, early 2000s. Like, just.
Oh, remember this one. You got it right in. This is the closest.
Oh, okay.
The closest one to get it will get the point. This is not a typing one. This is the bonus. According to Realtor.com, how many square feet does a house need to be considered a mansion?
You and I actually just talked about this, I don't know, a few days ago.
What made me think of it is I unboxed my Department 56. Steph got me a Wayne Manor with Alfred and Bruce Wayne out front. I got a Wayne Manor and it lights up. Oh, man, Jackpot says 144,000. That is enormous.
I think Dan and I were discussing, and basically because we were figuring, like, what does it have to be considered a mansion, and then what does it have to be considered a manor? Because we had to go out on a delivery. I think it was last week, and we were in like a really, really upscale area, and there was some massive. Yeah. Well, one of them was the Tommy Hilfiger house.
Yep,
and that thing is insane.
So, Kev was the first to get it. Looks like Mama S also did get it, but won't get the point on it. So Kev gets the point, which does mean we do have a. Let me double check here. Yeah. So Jerry and Kay are both going to win with Dirk, Stephanie, and Mama S all getting second place with 2 points. So congratulations to Jerry and Kay for the win tonight. That was a good game. I feel like we rambled a lot tonight, but that's okay.
We're still pretty much right on schedule too. 40 minutes. That's like spot on.
Not bad. All right, guys. So thank you so much for playing. Let us know some. Jerry says Ted Lasso. We're finishing The Office right now. Again, once we get through The Office, I will probably watch Ted Lasso. But
yeah, I do want to
let us know any suggestions you have, any what you want us to do, any different genres. So let us know. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. Have a good night.
Have a great